Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
Do you think we should make reservations for dinner tonight?
I doubt we'll need one. Lucille seems to be one of those places that's only crowded on weekends.
What does the woman mean? Number 2.
Did you realize that our meeting this afternoon was supposed to be for 2:15, not 2:30?
I'm really sorry. I think my watch has been running slow. I'm going to have to do something about it soon.
What will the woman probably do? Number 3.
I'm really disappointed. There are a couple of required courses I have to take before I can take the history class I'm interested in.
Don't be disappointed yet. You may be able to get special permission from the professor.
What does the man imply the woman should do? Number 4.
Do you know who won the baseball game?
They had to postpone it because of the rain. It's been rescheduled for next week.
What does the man mean? Number 5.
Hi, I hope you can help me. I need the second edition of United States Government for my class on Monday afternoon, but I only see the first edition on the shelf, and I've already checked the other bookstores around here.
Yes, someone else asked about that book earlier. I've called the warehouse, and they're shipping copies to us. We should have them Monday morning.
What does the man imply? Number 6.
I'll never catch up in my classes after being out sick all last week. It took me over 3 hours just to do last night's assignment. Maybe I need a tutor.
Sounds like you could use one.
What does the man mean? Number 7.
I'm still not sure which brand of ice cream I should buy.
Well, not that one. It's cheaper, but these other brands taste much better.
What does the woman imply the man should do? Number 8.
Losing the championship must have been a big disappointment to the players on our volleyball team.
Yeah, but they really played their hearts out. They're still champions in my book.
What does the man mean? Number 9.
Hey, did you hear that they're going to raise the dorm fees again?
Really? Am I glad I decided to move off campus?
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 10.
Do you have any idea why David wants to see me tomorrow? Is he having problems with his accounting project?
Yeah, he's been struggling with it from day one, and I told him you're an expert on that stuff.
What does the man imply? Number 11.
I have to borrow enough money to buy a plane ticket. My archaeology class is taking a field trip to Alaska, and I may never get another chance like this.
Look, when push comes to shove, the people you can rely on most are your family.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 12.
I've been in the library studying all day. What do you say to a walk around Green Lake?
I've got to go to the computer lab. Can I take a rain check?
What does the man mean? Number 13.
Hey, it was great to see you at the French Club meeting yesterday. You know, we could really use your help getting ready for the activities fair.
I don't know. I don't really have that much extra time.
What does the woman imply? Number 14.
Do you mind if I put on some music? It helps me relax while I'm studying.
Well, do you have to? I'm having a hard time concentrating on this chapter as it is.
What does the woman imply? Number 15.
I'm pretty confident the company where I worked the past 2 summers will hire me full-time after graduation.
Well, just in case that doesn't work out, Career Services is having a workshop on campus next Thursday on applying for a job. They had one here last year, and I know a lot of people found it helpful.
What does the woman imply the man should do? Number 16.
I washed this sweater according to the directions on the label, and look what happened to it.
It could be a manufacturer's defect. We'll exchange it for you.
What does the woman mean? Number 17.
I was wondering if you wanted to join my parents and me for dinner Friday night.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
What does the man imply? Number 18.
Thanks for lending me your history notes. They were really helpful. Can I ask you a few questions about something, though?
Sure, but could we make it for tomorrow? I have a report to finish before my 2 o'clock class, and I'm running behind.
What is the woman going to do next? Number 19.
Are you going to spend your vacation in New York again this summer?
Actually, I've got a different destination in mind this year.
What does the woman mean? Number 20.
I can't believe how much that student who was just in here looks like you. She could be your daughter.
I know, people are always assuming that we're related.
What does the woman imply? Go on to the next page. Number 21.
I just realized my telephone isn't working, and I'm expecting an important phone call in a few minutes.
Well, you can use my phone to make a call to the phone company, but it looks like there's not much that can be done about the one you're expecting.
What does the man imply? Number 22.
I was in line for 2 hours today waiting to drop a class.
Not me. When I saw that line snaking around the building, I said, nope, I'll just try again tomorrow.
What can be inferred about the man? Number 23.
Could you take a look at my printer? It doesn't seem to be working.
I can after I set up this new one. Just give me a few minutes, okay?
What does the woman mean? Number 24.
Did you bring your blue and yellow sweater for me to wear at the game today? You know I like to wear school colors at these games.
Ooh, I knew I forgot something and it's too far to go back home to get it. Will my blue and yellow scarf do?
What does the man mean? Number 25.
The doctor says I have to cut down on fattening foods. All the ones I like.
So that explains your mood.
What does the woman imply? Number 26.
I missed the election returns on TV last night. What was the outcome?
You remember last time when Congressman Baker won easily? Well, this time he barely won.
What does the woman say about the election? Number 27.
Excuse me. I bought the wrong math book a couple of weeks ago. Here's the receipt. Can I get my money back?
Oh, I'm sorry, not after 10 days. But you can still exchange it for something else.
What does the man imply? Number 28.
I just got back from the new art gallery downtown. Have you seen their collection yet?
It's a lot smaller than I was expecting, but what they do have is impressive.
What does the man mean? Number 29.
I'm sorry, Bob. I would have invited you over to eat lunch with us, but we were in the middle of working on a math problem.
Oh, I understand. Anyway, I could tell you were working.
What does the man mean? Number 30.
I just wrote the speech for the election. You know, I'm running for class president. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind looking it over.
Hey, what are friends for?
What does the woman imply she will do? This is the end of Part A. Go on to the next page. Now read along as the directions for Part B are being read. The test continues on Side 2. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, Read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Go on to the next page. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 35. Listen to a conversation between a student and a librarian.
Excuse me, I've been using this old book for a research project, and I noticed that a lot of pages are turning brown and becoming brittle.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a common problem with books made from wood pulp.
I suppose to make paper from wood, you have to add a lot of chemicals and acids to make it turn white.
Exactly. And it's the acid that eventually eats away at the paper.
Well, that certainly makes sense. But this book's not even 75 years old. And I've seen books in museums that are hundreds of years old, and they're in fine condition.
Well, you see, books have been made from wood pulp only since 1850. Before that, they were made from materials that were mostly animal skin or cloth-based. No chemicals were added.
It's a shame these older wood pulp books are going to fall apart someday. Is there anything that can be done to preserve them?
Well, currently, the only way to stop the books from decaying is to remove the binding and treat each page individually to remove the acid.
That doesn't sound very economical.
No, it isn't. It's not practical to treat a large number of books with this process, so we only try to rescue the most valuable first edition books in our collection.
Well, thanks for the explanation. I'd better get back to my project.
Good luck. I hope the book holds up long enough for you to finish it.
Number 31. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 32. According to the man, why do modern books decay? Number 33. What does the man say about books published before 1850? Number 34. What does the man say is a drawback to the process of restoring books? Number 35. What will the woman probably do next? Questions 36 through 39. Listen to part of the discussion in an art class.
Okay, as you all know, tomorrow we'll be going to the museum to see a special exhibit of scrimshaw carvings. So today I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the article on scrimshaw you read for today's class. Let me start by asking exactly what is scrimshaw?
Well, basically, it's a kind of artwork that was done by sailors on whaling ships. When there weren't any whales around, there might not be much for the sailors to do, and they'd often get pretty bored. So, to entertain themselves, they started carving stuff from whale bones and whale teeth.
Okay, so basically the term scrimshaw refers to the artwork that sailors created, usually out of whale bones and whale teeth. Can you give me an example of something the sailors might have carved?
Well, for one thing, I remember reading that they carved things that could be used around the house. You know, cooking and sewing utensils, that kind of stuff.
Good.
You know, I noticed from the pictures in the article that some of the carvings have really detailed images on them. Like, they had some pretty sophisticated pictures of famous people and historical scenes and stuff like that. And I was wondering just how they did that.
That's a very good question. And it brings us to your assignment for tomorrow. While we're at the museum, I'd like each of you to take notes on the various techniques used in making scrimshaw so that we can discuss them when we come back to class.
Number 36. What is the purpose of the discussion? Number 37. From what material was scrimshaw usually made? Number 38. According to the discussion, why did sailors begin making scrimshaw? Number 39. According to the discussion, what was done with the scrimshaw objects? This is the end of Part B. Go on to the next page. Now read along as the directions for Part C are being read. Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Here is an example. On the recording you hear, "Listen to an instructor talk to his class about a television program."
I'd like to tell you about an interesting TV program that'll be shown this coming Thursday. It'll be on from 9 to 10 p.m. on Channel 4. It's part of a series called Mysteries of Human Biology. And the subject of the program is the human brain, how it functions and how it can malfunction. Topics that will be covered are dreams, memory, and depression. These topics are illustrated with outstanding computer animation that makes the explanations easy to follow. Make an effort to see this show. Since we've been studying the nervous system in class, I know you'll find it very helpful.
Now listen to a sample question. What is the main purpose of the program? In your test book, you read, A. To demonstrate the latest use of computer graphics. B. To discuss the possibility of an economic depression. C. To explain the workings of the brain. D. To dramatize a famous mystery story. The best answer to the question, "What is the main purpose of the program?" is C. To explain the workings of the brain. Therefore, the correct choice is C. Now listen to another sample question. Why does the speaker recommend watching the program? In your test book, you read, A. It is required of all science majors. B. It will never be shown again. C. It can help viewers improve their memory skills. D. It will help with coursework. The best answer to the question, "Why does the speaker recommend watching the program?" is D. It will help with coursework. Therefore, the correct choice is D. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Go on to the next page. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 40 through 43. Listen to part of a talk in an anthropology class.
A lot of people think that cultural anthropology is just about studying the special and strange aspects of a society. But anthropologists are also interested in the aspects of life that seem so ordinary that the people in the society think they're not significant. Let me give you an example. I see lots of T-shirts here in class today, but you probably don't think of them as an important part of your culture. But anthropologists could learn a lot about the culture of the United States just by studying the T-shirt. For one thing, T-shirts are a mark of how casual clothing has become in America. No one's quite sure where it came from, but the T-shirt first became popular in this country as an undershirt for sailors in the 1940s. Then, in the 1950s, it became a sign of rebellion for teenagers to wear this white undershirt by itself, not under anything. By the 1960s and 70s, T-shirts had become accepted as part of the uniform of youth. You could even say that they came to symbolize that generation's attitude towards informality in all things, including dress. Another aspect that an anthropologist would find interesting is that T-shirts are used to express personal opinions. Look around this room. You know who likes what TV show, who went where on vacation, who belongs to what organizations on campus. All of these aspects of our culture are printed on your T-shirts. Okay, I want to stop for a minute and ask you to try to write down 5 different conclusions you could reach about American culture from just the T-shirts in this classroom.
Number 40. What is the speaker mainly discussing? Number 41. Why does the speaker use T-shirts as her example? Number 42. Why does the speaker mention what is printed on certain T-shirts? Number 43. What does the speaker ask the students to write down next? Questions 44 through 46. Listen to a business professor in a marketing class.
Finally, there's one more element to business success that we haven't talked about. I know what you think I'm going to say. Luck. And you're partially right. Good entrepreneurs know how to make their own luck, and that means being in the right place at the right time with the right product. Let me give you a little example. Early in this century, if you were a traveler by train or subway and you happened to get a little thirsty in the station, where would you go for some water? There were no big soda machines at every corner or even drinking fountains. Yet there were thousands of thirsty travelers out there. Well, what they did was drink water out of a little tin cup that was passed from one thirsty commuter to the next. That's right, everybody drank out of the same cup, and you can bet it didn't get washed after every user. Well, that was the right time for the right product, and there was a man who had it. His name was HuyHuu Moore, and his product was the disposable paper cup. He came out with it just as the nation was becoming concerned about the health risks associated with the tin cups. Laws were passed outlawing the things. Reports were published showing just what sort of germs could be passed around from sharing them. Mr. Moore rode that wave to become the best-known producer of one of the most successful paper products of all time. He originally called his product Health Cups, but later changed the name. So, can anyone guess what that name might be?
Number 44. What general topic has the class been discussing? Number 45. In the early 20th century, what did train travelers do when they got thirsty? Number 46. What is the purpose of the professor's story? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class. The professor has been discussing insects.
A number of insects rely on leaping or jumping as a way of escaping from enemies. Grasshoppers probably have the most remarkable jumping ability of all these insects. If we think of it in human terms, a grasshopper's high jump is like a human jumping over a 5-story building. Imagine that, a person jumping over a 5-story building. We're going to take a look at the structure of the grasshopper's leg to see why it's able to jump so well. But first, I want to talk about the sensory organs that tell the grasshopper when to jump in the first place. A grasshopper has 2 sensory organs located at the end of its abdomen. Whenever these organs sense a change in air pressure, which might be produced by an enemy approaching, an impulse is transmitted to the legs. This first impulse deactivates the nerves that control normal walking and sets the grasshopper's jumping muscles into a sort of pre-jumping position. Now, at this point, if the sensory organs don't detect additional air pressure changes, the jumping muscles relax, and the grasshopper goes back to its normal walking. But if the organs continue to sense danger, another set of impulses puts the jumping muscles in motion. The distance of the jump is determined by just how many impulses are transmitted in this second set. The more impulses, the longer the jump. Okay, now let's see why the grasshopper can jump so far. Open your books to the part about the muscular structure of the grasshopper's leg. I think it's in Chapter 9.
Number 47. What does the professor mainly discuss? Number 48. Why does the professor mention a 5-story building? Number 49. What is the function of the sensory organs that the professor discusses? Number 50. According to the professor, what determines the distance of a grasshopper's jump? This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1. This is a reminder. At the end of the test, the supervisor will collect all of the test books. You may not leave until all of the test books have been collected. End of recording.